Live from Connecticut's newsroom. Now, the news at 11.
Good evening, I'm Brent Hart.
And I'm Allison Morris. The death of a Bristol man in a car crash over the weekend, leaving an unexpected hole in the murder case against Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah, Connecticut's newsroom has learned investigators planned to interview Thaddeus Singleton, but won't be able to. Singleton died Sunday morning when he crashed his car into the Farmington Country Club.
Fox Connecticut's Louisa Mueller joins us live now from that scene with the latest. Louisa.
Well, Allison, Brent, you can probably see this caution tape behind me, and there is a hole that has since been patched up. This is where police say Thaddeus Singleton III, 33 of Bristol, crashed his car on Sunday. It was an accident that ultimately took his life. And since then, law enforcement sources have said that Singleton is associated to Hernandez, and the links keep adding up. Police say this crumpled car careened into the Farmington Country Club Sunday morning, killing the driver, 33-year-old Thaddeus Singleton III. And now, law enforcement sources are confirming a link between the Bristol man and former New England Patriots tight end Aaron Hernandez. Sources told the Hartford Courant that Hernandez and Singleton were connected and that investigators wanted to talk to Singleton. Police also said that the crash car was registered to Aaron Hernandez's uncle, Andres Valderrama, and Singleton was married to Valderrama's daughter, Aaron Hernandez's cousin. Sources say Singleton and his wife lived in this home on Lake Avenue in Bristol, which is owned by Valderrama. This house has been searched multiple times in the last week related to the murder investigation surrounding Hernandez. Singleton's death has been ruled an accident. It's not clear whether he knew investigators wanted to talk to him. Aaron Hernandez is charged with the first-degree murder of Odin Lloyd. Now, one passenger from Sunday's crash did survive. Her name is Tabitha Perry. She did, however, sustain some serious injuries. And Hernandez is one of 3 suspects arrested in connection to the murder of Odin Lloyd, all of them from Bristol. We're live here in Farmington. Louisa Mueller, Fox, Connecticut.
All right, Louisa, thank you very much. We are also learning new information linking the Bristol home of Aaron Hernandez's uncle to a 2012 double homicide in Boston. On Friday, police raided the Lake Avenue house and hauled away this silver SUV with Rhode Island plates. Bristol police confirm some of the evidence taken may be linked to the Boston case. Hernandez has not been named a suspect in the investigation so far. Witnesses reported seeing people inside a gray SUV with Rhode Island plates open fire on a vehicle carrying 3 men. 2 of them died that night. The evidence implicating Hernandez to the execution-style murder of his friend Odin Lloyd could be stacking up. An
East Hartford man who's suing Hernandez for shooting him in the face back in February has been subpoenaed to testify before a Massachusetts grand jury. Alexander Bradley was served while he was in Hartford court this morning for an unrelated matter. Court sources say prosecutors want Bradley's grand jury testimony because there are strong similarities between his story and Lloyd's death. The attorney in Bradley's civil case alleges Bradley was left to die at an industrial area and says there were 3 men in the car, including Hernandez, when his client was shot. Lloyd was found dead in an industrial park less than a mile from Hernandez's home. Prosecutors say there were also 3 people, including Hernandez, in the car when Lloyd was killed.
Are you surprised about the charges Mr. Hernandez is facing?
I didn't have no knowledge of those. I mean, I don't know, whatever situations he got on his own. I don't know.
Bradley is scheduled to testify before the grand jury in Fall River, Massachusetts on July 17th, just a week before Hernandez's next court date. Meanwhile, Hernandez is being held without bail in a Dartmouth, Massachusetts jail on murder charges. The Boston Herald checked in on the former NFLer and reports he's acclimating pretty well to life behind bars. Hernandez doesn't have interaction with other inmates, and he doesn't have a cellmate. He reportedly gets an hour of outdoor recreation a day, an hour to shower and make phone calls, and an hour to talk to visitors each day. The Herald also reports the jail's gang investigators have inspected his tattoos and say Hernandez doesn't appear to be involved in any gangs, but they are still being cautious.
Aaron Hernandez was in trouble with police in Gainesville, Florida, before he ever even played a down for the Florida Gators. The Wall Street Journal uncovered a police report from 2007 that alleges Hernandez punched a bouncer in the head so hard it broke his eardrum. It allegedly happened just months after Hernandez enrolled at the University of Florida, when a scuffle broke out because Hernandez refused to pay for his drinks. Then Florida quarterback Tim Tebow was at the bar that night and reportedly tried to break up the altercation, even offering to pay the bill still before any punches were thrown. Local police reportedly recommended felony battery charges be filed, but for some reason, the then 17-year-old was never charged. Plenty of twists and turns in this case. Follow all of the developments in the investigation on foxct.com. A mystery tonight on the banks of the Connecticut River, where a human foot was found inside a boot with the rest of the body missing.
The remains were found on part of the St. Clements Castle property. Fox Connecticut's Bo Berman was on scene as investigators collected evidence. He joins us from the newsroom with more. Bo.
Yeah, Brent, Allison, the State Police Missing Persons Unit is assisting local police with this investigation, but tonight it remains unclear whether this discovery is connected to any open or active missing persons cases.
East Hampton, Portland, and state police converged on the shoreline of the Connecticut River at 2:30 this afternoon after a worker at the St. Clements Castle Marina found what appeared to be human remains.
I was shocked. I just, like I said, I showed up and it was all out of the blue.
Joe Paradise wasn't the man who found the remains, but did find the scene surprising when he showed up to check on his boat following recent downpours.
A little bit shocked when I showed up and saw the cruisers and more activity down here than we usually have.
Investigators recovered the remains, which, according to a sergeant with DEEP, consisted of a foot inside a boot. It's unclear whether it belonged to a man or woman. Police officers and police dogs then combed the area on land and in the water before sending the body part to the medical examiner's office, according to East Hampton's police chief.
Bodies show up all the time in the river, unfortunately. Hopefully it's not that, but yeah, crazy. Wasn't expecting all this.
Law enforcement on scene all refused on-camera interviews, but did say that it's too early to determine whether the foot could pertain to any missing persons cases. But that hasn't stopped speculation among citizens like Joe.
Last year, there was a woman from East Hampton missing, and they came down looking for her. I don't know why here, but same thing.
So now East Hampton police will lead the official investigation. They'll receive assistance from state police along with other state resources. In the newsroom, Bo Berman, Fox, Connecticut.
After months of courting and threats of leaving the state, New Britain-based gun manufacturer Stag Arms is staying put for now. Mark Malkowski has been vocal about relocating his company ever since Connecticut's new gun laws banned the sale of the AR-15 rifle. That's the weapon Stag specializes in making. Fresh off his trip from South Carolina, where he was courted, Malkowski tells us Stag and its 200 employees will stay in New Britain. Here's the catch. When it comes to expanding his company, he says he will look out of the state and possibly move the company in the future. Stag isn't the only Connecticut manufacturer to consider a move. In June, Bristol-based PTR Industries announced it will be relocating to South Carolina. Now at 11, cleanup across Connecticut after not one but two tornadoes touched down yesterday.
And to help farmers get back on their feet as soon as possible, Governor Malloy signed an emergency declaration for East Windsor, Greenwich, Stamford, Windsor, and Windsor-Locks counties.
Fox Connecticut's Javon Vitale spent the afternoon with the governor, getting a first-hand look at the damage.
That sound of tree crews has been more common in the neighborhoods near Windsor. Governor Daniel Malloy toured the damage, making stops in Windsor, East Windsor, and Windsor-Locks. First, the tobacco fields, where the tornado destroyed crops and ripped up mosquito netting, sending it flying for miles. It was here that the governor announced grants and assistance would be available for farmers.
They're going to be able to reapply fertilizer and soil amendments, be able to reseed where appropriate, and be able to replace damaged or destroyed infrastructure.
Over in Windsor-Locks, families are dealing with this: trees and power lines down everywhere, some on homes, others on lawns.
It was crazy. I came downstairs, I looked outside, and I saw the tobacco netting in the air swirling around, and that's when we went to the basement. And from the basement, we just heard a bunch of crashing, trees snapping, and then it was silent. It came and went that quick.
And in East Windsor, at Sports World, the place where that iconic white dome was sucked up by the twister and shredded to bits. Some sense of normalcy, as parents and state leaders said thank you to a heroic staff.
And while neighbors we talked to are still reeling from the damage and destruction of yesterday's storm, everyone we talked to says they're thankful that everyone's okay.
When we got home, we found trees down, a tree on our house. And I'm just happy everybody was okay and nobody got hurt.
Reporting in Windsor-Locks, Javon Vitale, Fox, Connecticut.
Talk about creative cooking next at 11, the once in a 17-year culinary creation that will leave you wondering. We meet the New Haven chef behind the dish.
And backlash from business owners creates a roadblock for Obamacare. The mandate delay and what it means for entrepreneurs ahead at 11.
Plus, lashing out at a so-called princess, why one New York family calls this reality TV star's actions despicable and offensive.
An improvement in the forecast, at least if you have been looking forward to less in the way of showers and storms. But we're going to get pretty hot around here, coupled with the humidity. It will be quite toasty as we head into the weekend. Full forecast, including your 4th of July, coming up after the break.
The search has been called off for the body of a fisherman who disappeared in the Long Island Sound on Sunday. 51-year-old Yuri Kirpichev from West Springfield, Massachusetts, was trying to retrieve his fishing pole when he went overboard near Old Saybrook. The Coast Guard searched more than 140 miles for 30 hours but found no sign of him. 3 other passengers who were with Kirpichev at the time were rescued. If you've been looking for a way to get rid of the pesky cicadas and their constant drone, this is the story for you.
Fox Connecticut's Lori Perez tells us why one New Haven chef says cicadas and other insects, for that matter, have value on your dinner plate.
I know it sounds unfamiliar and maybe a little gross, but New Haven chef Bun Lai says the return of these cicadas every 17 years offers a rare culinary and educational opportunity. The thing about eating cicadas is
just a couple more minutes.
You don't really know what to expect.
I think it's going to taste sort of soury.
I expect them to be kind of squishy. I'm wondering if they might taste something like seafood, like maybe shrimp.
1.5 inches, a hard shell and wings. They're pretty light, not much to them, high in protein, low in fat and carbs. Experts say they're gluten-free. And aside from their beady red bug eyes...
Oh, wow, look at that, guys.
I mean, how bad could they be after being all seasoned up with African spices and soy sauce, lime juice?
This is made out of seaweed.
And then smoked by renowned chef Bun Lai. At the moment of truth, the youngest among us went first.
It tastes a little bit salty like popcorn.
Okay, so I've read that they have a faint asparagus flavor. Let's give it a try. Definitely not asparagus. I mean, and aside from the spices that he put on it, there was a little pop of liquid, frankly. But other than that, it just kind of tastes crunchy. So now that I've eaten it, and now that all these fine people have eaten it, the natural question is, why are we eating it? Why does Bun Lai want people to be eating cicadas and other insects?
Insects in general, especially the most nutritious insects, are more nutrient dense. They're healthier to eat than any livestock or even any seafood. 51% of all anthropomorphic greenhouse gases come from the production of livestock.
Bugs get all the buzz, but Lai says the real headline here is way beyond the ew factor.
Kind of to add the conversation of rethinking the way we should be eating, and reimagining it. Cicadas, actually, if you think about insects in particular, are eaten by 3/4 of the world.
Now, all of the cicadas that he's using in his dishes were caught in Cheshire. He says there's no real rhyme or reason on how you collect them. You just get whichever ones you can get. I'm Lori Perez, Fox Connecticut News.
A recent wet weather has a lot of folks scratching their heads, and other places, mosquitoes are multiplying at a rapid pace in the damp outdoors. The Connecticut Agricultural Experiment Station monitors mosquito levels across the state. This year, researchers say they're finding aggressive human-biting insects in record levels.
Just in the last week alone, we captured more mosquitoes than we did in the first 3 weeks of June. And last week was one of the worst weeks that we've ever seen in the entire 16-year history of this program.
The species of mosquitoes currently buzzing around the state is not the kind that spreads the West Nile virus. It's also not the kind you want to eat like cicadas. The type of mosquito that brings the West Nile typically surfaces in mid-July.
And we know that most of the problem has to do with all of the rain that we've had recently. And the question is, when can we get rid of these showers? Not like today was really a washout, but still, we didn't see a whole lot in the way of sunshine. And we did have a few widely scattered showers, downpours, and even rumbles of thunder. And the answer is slow improvement. Tomorrow, a few showers scattered about, but hit or miss. And then by Thursday, the 4th of July, isolated showers and storms. So why? Why are we seeing those showers get less and less common? The answer is high pressure nosing in, pushing that axis of heavier instability off to the west. So we'll be heating up and drying out. By drying out, I mean less storms. I do not mean that we are getting rid of the humidity, which will remain high for the foreseeable future. All right, some scattered showers and moderate downpours in spots right now, and really nothing to zoom in on and show you town by town. You know what I'm saying? Well, we see these showers and storms though up and down the East Coast, and everybody is finally going to get a break in the action as we move through time for the reason that I just showed you just a moment ago. Southington, 73 degrees. Mansfield at 75, 73 in Colchester. Hamden at 75 degrees, 73, or rather 75 in Avon. I think I read the same town twice. The cicadas on my brain. All right, low temperatures tonight dropping down right around the 70-degree mark. Mild, muggy, another evening that you want to keep the AC cranked up if you can, with a leftover shower or two. And then as we head into the day tomorrow, clouds, some breaks of sun. I think we'll see a little bit more in the way of sun than we had around today. Still the chance for a shower or a storm around, though, mainly in the afternoon, although I can't rule one out sneaking in the morning either. Temperatures in the lower to mid-80s. We may even see some towns like Windsor Loch sneak into the upper 80s if indeed we do get a little bit more in the way of sunshine. All right, your 4th of July plans. I actually raised the temperature a couple degrees from the news at 10 because all the latest computer models are showing it's going to be even warmer. So I'm going between 85 to 90. It's kind of hard to look at this graphic, I know. Very warm and humid. Isolated storm. I think most of us will be fine for your 4th of July plans. All right, here's your extended forecast. A few storms tomorrow. Isolated storm on Thursday. We're up around 90 degrees. And look at that, 90, 90, 90, 92, right down the line. Whoa. So we are talking about another possible heat wave here. And not only do we have the heat, but we have the humidity around too. Wow. For the shoreline, it's not going to be quite as mild, but still middle to at times upper 80s. Allison, that is beach weather. She's always asking me, so can I go to the beach? Can I go to the... It is.
I can go. I have your permission?
Absolutely. Go to the beach.
I'm there. I'll see you guys.
Pack a picnic lunch of cicadas.
But bring insect repellent for the mosquitoes. That's a throwback.
Whoa! Ow. Yeah, that's no good. They're known as the princesses of Long Island, but some are calling this princess a royal bore, the uproar she created at a statue honoring a fallen firefighter next.
And it's destination unknown for NSA leaker Edward Snowden. Next at 11, who's saying, hit the bricks, pal. What you say? On day 7 of the George Zimmerman trial, the prosecution and defense both focused on the moment Zimmerman and Trayvon Martin clashed on that fearful February 9th.
Zimmerman says he shot Martin in self-defense after the 17-year-old repeatedly slammed his head into a concrete sidewalk. But today on the stand, a medical examiner called Zimmerman's head injuries insignificant.
Are the injuries to the back of the defendant's head consistent with having been repeatedly slammed into a concrete surface?
No.
Why not?
Because if you look at the injuries, they are so minor that, to me, the word slam implies great force. And the resultant injuries are not great force.
The medical examiner who looked at photos of Zimmerman's injury says Zimmerman's head may have hit the concrete once. Zimmerman, a former neighborhood watch captain, is charged with second-degree murder in Martin's death back in February of 2012. The man accused of brutally beating a New Jersey mother in her home pleaded not guilty to attempted murder today.
The mother was attacked in front of her 3-year-old daughter, and the whole thing was caught on her nanny cam. In addition to the attempted murder charges, Sean Custis also pleaded not guilty to robbery. Cops say Custis is the man in this video punching and kicking the woman in her Milburn, New Jersey home. Later, she was thrown down the stairs. The thief walks right by her with a pile of stolen jewelry. Bail for Custis was set at $750,000. A Boston man is under arrest tonight, accused of trying to scam the One Fund charity organization out of $2 million.
Cops say they busted the 22-year-old when he accepted a $2 million check from an undercover state trooper. Brandon Mattier claimed his aunt lost 2 limbs. Problem is, the aunt in question died over a decade ago. Mattier faces attempted larceny and identity theft charges. One Fund was set up in the wake of the marathon bombing to help those hurt in the blast, many of them amputees. Apologies aren't going very far with the family of a fallen firefighter whose 9/11 memorial was disrespected during a reality show taping. Bravo Network says it's sorry for the distress to the family of Jonathan Yelpy. Amanda Bertoncini, a cast member on the show Princesses Long Island, did a photo shoot at an FDNY memorial where she stripped in front of a 9/11 statue and encouraged a model to pretend to feed the firefighter statue a beer. She has since apologized on her Facebook page. Across the globe, NSA leaker Edward Snowden's great escape isn't going so well.
Yeah, he has withdrawn his asylum application to Russia after President Vladimir Putin said Snowden needs to stop leaking American secrets. That doesn't mean Snowden will be coming back to the U.S. anytime soon. According to WikiLeaks, Snowden has applied for asylum in 21 different countries, but his wish list is dwindling. At least 10 countries have flat out denied him, including Brazil, India, and Poland. Other countries, like Germany, say he can't ask for asylum unless he is within their borders. Ecuador also says it is considering Snowden's request, but he needs to reach its territory before they make a decision.
Up next, a major and unexpected concession from the Obama administration, what a delay in Obamacare means for business owners. A key provision in President Obama's sweeping health care law is being delayed by a year.
The extra year will give the government time to simplify the way businesses report how they provide their workers with health insurance. The delay comes in the wake of concerns from business owners about the complexity of the reporting requirements. Under the Affordable Care Act, businesses with 50 or more full-time employees that don't provide workers health insurance will be penalized. Those penalties will now begin in 2015 after next year's congressional elections.
Before tonight, Cincinnati's Homer Bailey threw the last no-hitter in the majors. Tonight, he had another with 2 outs in the ninth.
On the ground at third for Frazier. He did it!
Bailey tosses the season's first no-hitter, a 3-0 win over the Giants, his second career no-no. The Red Sox getting contributions from a lot of different players right now tonight. The hitting star was Brandon Snyder, a bases-clearing double, staking the Sox to a 3-0 lead. He was cut down at third, but the damage was done. Another strong outing for John Lackey. Red Sox win it 4-1. Robinson Cano doesn't have a lot of protection in the lineup these days, given the injury epidemic, but he's hot right now. 3 home runs in the past 2 nights, including his 20th of the season tonight. Yankees lead it 7-3 in the bottom of the ninth. Elsewhere, the women's basketball WNBA, Tulsa and the Sun come away with a much-needed 88-69 win. And they were dancing in the aisles at New Britain Stadium tonight. 2-0 in the 5th inning. Danny Santana gives New Britain a 3-0 lead. The Rockettes go on to win it by the score of 3-1. The Mets were 9-1 winners over Arizona. That's sports in 61 seconds. I'm Rich Capola, guys.
Well, some of my friends think I'm a little, I'm a little cuckoo, I guess, but that's all right.
We think she's totally awesome. Flying high at 79, meet the game changer from Vermont after this short break.
A grandma in Vermont is proving getting older doesn't have to mean slowing down.
79-year-old Flo Myler will be competing at the National Senior Games this month in Cleveland, Ohio. Check her out. She'll be participating in the 100-meter hurdle, pole vault, javelin, and high jump, along with a few other events. What else is there? When it comes to track and field, the grandmother of 5 admits she was a late bloomer.
And I've always been in sports all my life. I did competition water skiing for 30 years, and then I took up tennis at 40, and track and field at 60, and pole vault at 65.
She's so cool. Flo has won 750 medals and is looking to add a few more to her growing collection. The National Senior Games begins July 19th. I think we should go there and cover her.
That's amazing. And what a great way, you know, you set goals, keep your mind sharp, stay in shape. What a great way to do it.
Stay young. She looks terrific.
No kidding.
Guys, we are going to be improving the weather finally. I mean, showers and storms, they weren't so bad today. You know, you could spend time outside doing plans, but still, clouds kind of won out. I think each day as we move forward, we're going to see more sunshine and less in the way of storms. So maybe we'll see a few pop up during the afternoon, mainly tomorrow. And then for Thursday, an isolated shower or storm in the afternoon, but most areas should remain dry. And then I think we're fairly dry Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Each day temperatures will get right up around the 90-degree mark. The humidity, though, is going to remain high. We're not getting rid of that, even though we're changing the pattern in terms of getting rid of storms. It's still going to be muggy.
Oh, sounds good, Rach. Yeah. All right, that's going to do it for us. Thanks for joining us.
For the latest news, weather, and traffic, tune in tomorrow morning at 4:30. Good night.